So whilst my voice still holds, the other a big area of my life is I'm involved with two parks. I'm the chair of the Friends of East Pines Park, which is a park in Anchorsholme, and I'm also the secretary of the Friends of Anchorsholme Park, which, for anybody knows, is on the tram line as you go between north of Blackpool and Cleveland's. So, two very demanding parts of my life because I love them to pieces. It's where I sort of go to sort of unwind. It, but they've been very challenging. East Pines went through an incredible boom period up to about 2019 and was doing incredibly well. We were winning RHS awards. We had charity status. We'd raised about 145,000 and we had a massive team of volunteers. And it was like, wow, whatever we were touching was turning to gold. And then, unfortunately, along came COVID, and with COVID, we lost a lot of volunteers. And my dad always had a saying, which was, if you have 1 year weed, you'll have 7 years seed. And I never knew what he really meant by that until it happened. By that, with COVID, we couldn't work in the parks. So all those weeds, they had seeds. And boy, for the last few years, all we've done is weed. It's been pretty grim, and we lost a lot of volunteers. So we didn't have that many volunteers to fix it. And only really this year, this winter really, have we got on top of those weeds, and the park's looking close to how good it was previously. So our vision for this year is to re-enter those competitions, the RHS, the Blackpool in Bloom type competitions, and continue with some of our funding journey. So I've started a consultation with the public to re-engage with everybody. What do you want next, and all of those things. And I think that's going to be a big exciting time for us to be doing those sorts of things again. And it's part of the reason why I feel so relaxed. We've also recruited some amazing volunteers. Councillor Anita Cooper, who's my new ward partner in Anchorsholme, her husband Peter's been incredible. He's helped us with the football pitch. He's doing incredible work with the compost heaps, all the sorts of things I was trying to do but never really had the time. And it also took me away from the weeding side. So, and I love weeding. So I'm one of those few weird people that doesn't mind pulling weeds out. So yeah, that's sort of where we are. But what was really encouraging was it's going to be our 10th year this year doing the football programme. And last year our figures for the football were sort of around the 170 mark. 170 children played football in the park. We organised coaching. We had a sort of 70 odd children had gone through the cricket coaching, all completely free. And I was reminded by the local police actually of the stats, but we were down to some really low antisocial behaviour figures in Anchorsholme. But when we started 2014, 10 years ago, those figures were the highest for any park in Blackpool. So it just shows by investing in our children, and some of those children who were around 8 are now 18, and I'm doing them job references, which makes me feel old. But if we do invest in them, they are tomorrow's adults. So it's really important that we put some investment money, whatever, into these young people, and we'll reap the benefit later on. But it doesn't happen immediately. It takes a lot of sort of hard work and money and patience and so on. So that's my one word of advice for anyone who wants to get involved with investing in a park: be patient. And the second park that I'm involved with is Anchorsholme Park. It's the third biggest park in Blackpool. We've done a huge amount of work, but that opened in the middle of COVID. It was July the 20th, 2020, when that park opened. And it was at that point where people would turn up to anything that was opening. So if it was green spaces, they'll go to green spaces. If it was pub beer gardens, it was pub beer gardens. And it seemed to sort of follow in a sort of cyclical way. And obviously we opened during the middle of the green space bit, so it was rammed. It was brilliant. I think it was just what everybody was desperate for. But we've never really had that chance to sort of consolidate and plan in some of the ways we wanted to. And we're at that point now. We've got an amazing team. We've got a fantastic chair, fantastic treasurer, incredible volunteers, and we've planted trees, about 30 trees in there. We've got a plan to try and double that this year. We've got a plan to try and link the two parks together to create a better experience in terms of some trees between the two parks on the street. And yeah, again, sort of try and make it a real destination. And I'm currently working really hard for a charity application. So East Pines is a charity, Anchorsholme Park is a community group. So I want us to become a charity for both parks. So I'm working on that currently, and that will unlock a lot of investment. But we've put in new play equipment already, as I've done the trees. And crucially, I want us to do something with green energy, especially wind. For anyone that doesn't know, Blackpool is a very windy space, and Anchorsholme's like being on top of a mountain at times. So having something that will generate electricity to pay for the electricity for the cafe and support a waterfall for the pond area, that would be amazing. So that's our sort of vision, really. And so I'll keep you updated on that, because there's going to be some quite exciting things if we get this right. And that's my mission by the end of 2024, to say, well, this is roughly where we are, and create something that's really game changing. So some massive work in 2023. I do feel really positive about where we are with the parks for the first time since COVID. So yeah, watch this space, and I'll definitely keep you updated.